Unless you've been living under a rock for, well, the last 35 years, things have been a little bit helter-skelter in West Asia. The latest brouhaha over there involves all the usual suspects as Israel and the United States attacked Iran for a bunch of reasons that keep on changing by the hour.
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon.
In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole.
Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh.
Proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
That can't be it.
But I'm not here to give you an in-depth play-by-play on the ongoing war. For that, you have a plethora of options. Today, we will speak on the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff and how, despite being hosted thousands of miles away, the current geopolitical landscape in West Asia is causing all manner of issues. Iran responded by shooting missiles at Israel and the American military and neighboring Gulf states such as Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia that host the American military and their energy infrastructure. Iran also closed the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow waterway that provides the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open sea. As one can imagine, this has caused immense anxiety and exploding commodity prices as the world supply chain violently contracts. But I would be remiss if I only lamented on the damn near $4 a gallon of gasoline that I'm being forced to pay right now. 2 weeks in, the conflict has killed over 1,000 Iranians, dozens of Israelis and Americans, and hundreds across Iraq, Lebanon, Kuwait, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. We should never lose sight of the human cost of these conflicts, even as we speak on how this affects the game that we all love. But death and the unraveling of the supply chain aren't the only effects of war. Bahrain, Qatar, Iraq, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait have all closed their airspace due to the conflict, and many airlines have suspended operations in the Middle East. Most of the international airports in the region have been closed, with Dubai and Abu Dhabi international airports even sustaining damage from Iranian strikes. These West Asian airports sit at the crossroads of east-west travel, funneling long-haul traffic and cargo between Asia and North America and Europe through a tightly scheduled network of connecting flights. It is this travel chaos that underpins the massive issues with the FIFA Continental Playoffs. For those of you overwhelmed with the sheer amount of soccer taking place this year with all the complicated permutations, allow me to simplify it for you. Of the 48 teams expected at the World Cup, 42 have already qualified directly. Shout out to Haiti. 4 European spots are still up for grabs, and 2 spots will be determined by the Intercontinental Playoffs. These playoffs are made up of 2 distinct pathways to the World Cup. One includes New Caledonia, Jamaica, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, hosted in Guadalajara, Mexico, with the other made up of Bolivia, Suriname, and Iraq, hosted in Monterrey, Mexico. The winner of each pathway qualifies directly for the World Cup. And the issue here is pretty obvious. How the hell is the Iraqi team meant to get from the Middle East all the way to Mexico? On March 4th, the Iraqi Football Association received a letter from Iraq's national airline and the Ministry of Transportation informing them that the airspace will remain closed for the rest of the month. Many of the Iraqi players play domestically in Iraq or in the other Gulf states, so while dodging missiles, they also have the added worry about how they're going to travel. Iraq's Australian coach Graham Arnold is currently in Dubai and also grounded. With no flights and the Strait of Hormuz closed, the only alternative is an arduous 25-hour journey by road from Baghdad to Turkey through northern Iraq. And I don't know if any of you remember anything about the oil wars, but northern Iraq is not really the place you want to find yourself at night. In a car. Unarmed.
Holy shit, the Triangle of Death, bro! That's right!
And Iraq aren't the only participating nation in these playoffs with players playing in West Asia. Jamaica, DR, Suriname, Bolivia, and amazingly, even New Caledonia all have players based in the Middle East who now face very difficult to damn near impossible journeys. To make matters even worse, a number of Iraqi players and backroom staff have yet to receive visas for either Mexico or the United States. Iraq had to cancel a proposed training camp in Houston because most of the squad couldn't get entry visas even if they managed to make the trek across the ocean. And the team is still without visas for the playoffs as Mexico doesn't have an embassy in Baghdad and the alternatives in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates are closed. So how have FIFA, the all-powerful, all-knowing governing body, responded to this unfolding disaster? Well, they told the Iraqis that the playoffs are going to go ahead as scheduled, but that they have escalated the matter. Whatever that means. Today we're only focusing on the Intercontinental Playoffs, but the whole run-up to this World Cup has been an unmitigated disaster, and that was before the war started. From the predatory ticket pricing to the domestic unrest in the United States and now Mexico, I can't think of another World Cup where I was less excited. Meanwhile, the charlatans at FIFA keep pretending that nothing is wrong as they count their ill-gotten gains. Frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves. Now onto my ironclad and never wrong predictions. Let us start with Pathway 1, where the winner of New Caledonia versus Jamaica will play the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It would be the shock of all shocks if New Caledonia were to beat Jamaica. Now I know the Reggae Boys had a lukewarm qualification and always seem to have some type of drama going on, but they really should win this one very easy. New Caledonia, for those of you that don't know, is located in the far reaches of the Southwest Pacific Ocean and have a national team largely made up of domestic-based players and players based mostly in the lower leagues in France. Jamaica, meanwhile, could call on players from the top divisions of England and the United States. No chance for New Caledonia. Jamaica versus DR Congo should be a hell of a contest. These two are much more evenly matched, but I'm going to say that the Democratic Republic of the Congo will return to the World Cup for the first time since 1974, when they were known as Zaire. Pathway 2 is where Iraq will play the winner of Bolivia versus Suriname. Now, the Bolivia-Suriname game, that is a very interesting one. Now, a few years ago, I'd say this one is going to be a true mid-off. Two very average sides, probably playing out a drab 0-0 draw, but these days, these nations have cause for optimism. Bolivia seem to finally have woken up from decades of truly depressing results anytime they leave the confines of La Paz. And Suriname are one of the best examples of what consistent competitive games and a highly motivated diaspora can do. This will be the tightest semifinal, but I am gonna go out on a limb and predict an upset. Suriname advances. So it'll be Iraq versus Suriname for the final World Cup spot, and on a normal planet where the inhabitants isn't always trying to kill each other, I'd say that Iraq would probably win this one easily. But I don't know, this is gonna be an incredibly trying month for the Iraqis. Even if they manage to cobble 22 players together for the playoffs, I'm not sure which ones will come or if they will even be in the right mindset for a match of this magnitude. I really do think it could be too much for them, so I'm predicting Suriname edge out Iraq to claim the last World Cup spot. Those are my predictions. I'm sticking to them, but please let me know down in the comments if you think I'm full of bat dung and who you think will progress from each pathway. Okay, bye.